How are you doing? What's up? How are you holding up?
I'm doing good. We just got our negative COVID test back, so we're finally negative
Blessed.
after 3 weeks.
Oh, what was that like?
It was a lot. It
Yeah.
was a lot. I think that the, I always struggle with not having the choice of doing something. So knowing that I could not go anywhere because I was blessed to not get crazy sick where I was just down and out.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing like you can't even leave the house if you wanted to,
Oh,
it fucks with my head.
yeah.
Feel I can't, yeah, I have a hard time with that. But as far as like the illness itself, it was, for me, it wasn't as bad. Trey got it pretty bad. He was
Mm-hmm.
pretty sick. He had the fever and everything. I just had body aches for one day. And then most of the time, I was just fighting exhaustion, like to
Yeah.
the point where it would be hard to even hold my phone. I would get winded just picking up my phone. And that
Wow.
felt wild.
Wow.
But other than that, it was easy as compared to what I've heard, the
Heard.
stories that I've heard.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy to hear that you're doing better. Girl, it's all a mess. It's all a mess.
The
Um,
whole thing.
the whole thing is all a mess. Well, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Call Me After 9. I'm your host, Adrian, and as always, I want to say, what up to the people joining in. Today, I am joined by the beautiful Chauntice Green. Thank you for being here today. Uh,
Thank you for having me.
of course, if
I feel honored. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm just bubbling with joy. It's good to have you here on. Like, I took a long sabbatical from doing Call Me After 9 because there's so much going on right now, and it literally put me into like an artist rut. Like, I just did not want to do anything because it was the gamble of like I felt that my art that I was doing had to be socially conscious, and then
Yeah,
I felt like now my platform had completely changed to being a freedom fighter, and
right.
which is a part of the job of being a person of color. But I felt like I no longer was able to do my own art, and then that once you're not able to do your own art, it's a trickle effect of like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk
Right.
about anything. I don't want to post
Start
anything.
questioning everything.
I
What
just,
what's the reason? Why am I even you start really asking yourself, why am I even doing this? I don't
why?
even know what tomorrow is going to look like on a world scale. Like I already know we don't know our tomorrow, but when there's disruption at every turn, there's no peace right now. It's really hard to get out of that mindset of trying to create in a way that, like if just something that just is in the moment passionate to us but maybe won't be serving the world. But that's what we got to remember, is that anything that is coming from like a truthful place is serving something.
Mm-hmm.
Like this show is needed because at every turn there's disruption, and we need a place to turn and to talk and to just celebrate ourselves even when we don't know what the hell is going on. It's
Seriously.
weird.
So what do you do when you're like in, I don't know if you do get in moments where you're like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to see anyone. I don't feel like doing. I don't know if you ever get like, I don't even feel like putting my own art out there. What do you do for yourself to like recover and come back from that and say like, I can't let that part of me die because that wouldn't, like you said, be
Right,
serving to anyone, especially yourself.
right. I'm still figuring it out, to be honest.
Mhm.
I'm still figuring it out. I wish I had an answer. It's
Mhm.
all trial and error right now. It's all just trying to see when I'm in that place, picking something and seeing if that works. Because it
Mhm.
doesn't, you might pick something, it might not always work.
Yeah.
And
True.
and especially for me, as far as like where my inspiration comes from too, is it really comes from connecting with strangers
Mhm.
and being out in public. Like my whole thing before, everything shut down was going to bars by myself and sitting down and talking to the bartenders and talking to the people around me, and like you get crazy stories and you meet all of these different personalities, and those are the things that, okay, but what if I put this personality with this person and now I have a story, and I just
Mhm.
like really enjoy that. And I don't have any of that right now. There's not even an ounce of that. So it's been really weird to try to just, you know, I think that at the end of the day, it all just stems down to discipline.
Yeah.
Like if we just sit down and do even a little bit of something every day, there will be something at the end of the road for it. And I think that's what I'm like trying to really just drill into my everyday, into my, I think that's what I'm trying to do right now. But it still gets rough.
Yeah, and I love that you said a little a day because everyone I know there's the statement of just do 1 minute a day and then tomorrow repeat it.
Right.
But sometimes I'd be like, y'all, that 1 minute alone, I'd be like, I just don't feel it. I don't feel it. And then sometimes you can allow social media sometimes to like add a whole nother layer of just like really what am I doing with my life? Really, why am I in this rut of like I know I'm
Right.
doing what I'm supposed to do for the culture, but why am I sitting here like second guessing what I'm doing if it's even enough? And like you said, it is a journey, it is a process, but I think one of the coolest things that have happened in this last week or so on social media has definitely been the Brandy and Monica live.
Listen, that was fire for your soul. That was, Twitter has been going crazy. The memes, the conversation. I loved every minute. And I also have one of those things because I haven't listened to them like just sit down. I put them on here and there, here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But when they were playing there, I was like, wow, I really know every song. Like this is
Uh-huh.
really part of my makeup, of my chemical. Like they are in me, whether I realize it or not. Every song had like a memory or just made me feel some. Oh, it felt so good.
And I love that they broke records too, because altogether the
What?
amount of views they had was like over 4.2 million views. That's crazy. And I
That's
love that
insane.
that happens when
And then they
two.
jumped back on the charts. All of their music jumped back on because we're all going back like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
this
remember. Oh
this
my
was it.
God.
This was the bop.
Yeah.
What what song of Monica's or Brandy's did they play that night that you were like, you know what? This is my jam.
See, now you ask me questions, and I'm not a good. I don't do well with memorizing names, so I'm gonna have
Okay.
to.
That don't worry. I mean, if you know the lyrics of it, I might know the name myself. Um, I know for Brandy, for
Oh, you
Monica.
know what? When Brandy played "Almost Doesn't Count," I
Woo!
was. Why don't I listen to this every day? This is a song that needs to come on to reboost my day.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that song.
like yeah, no, that's a Brandy. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
that's one of
my God. And then,
Brandy's.
of course, "I Want to Be Down" will always be good.
That's just a classic bop. When you hear it, you just
Yeah,
gotta rock to that song.
always. Ooh,
Um,
give me for one.
say that again.
You should know better than to think I would leave. You should have known that.
To doubt you and me. Don't matter if you're up, matter if you're down.
Even
Period.
listen. Oh,
Please
I
tell me who I was in love with at that age, why my heart was broken, why was I playing things like this on repeat on my MP3 player.
looking out the window like,
Period, period, period. Write notes to you
we loved
from
her.
me.
We sang. We knew. You should have known.
Yeah.
And why didn't you
Why
know?
didn't you know? Why did that's the
What?
question. Her For You I Will. For You I Will.
Oh,
I can't tell you the number of
that's
times
the
I
one that was
was
on the what's the basketball Space Jam movie?
Space Jam. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
was
I
back
love
when
that.
soundtracks used to go off. Back when soundtracks were actually like soundtracks we wanted to listen to. Um,
Right.
you know, some
And for like really making music, because I feel like sometimes they do this now where they have the artist come in and make specific songs, but now they're kind of just pulling songs from that are already made. But they
mhm.
used to want, like, they had her come in and do that song for this movie.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And also, that soundtrack has "He Who Shall Not Be Named" on it.
Hmm.
Um, we'll leave that conversation for another time.
We know
But
what song it is.
period, period. Um, but something about this live that I did want to touch on was like one thing that was like a little bothersome with me was like, we have this live where these women are coming to like reconcile and put things to an end, but instantly once it was the verse, then we had to relive the drama of it all.
Oh,
Everyone's
yeah.
like, who's gonna win this? Whose songs are gonna be on top? And then after the live happened, it was a matter of like, oh, well, I felt like Brandy won it and her energy was this and that, or, Monica
Right.
came with the real. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes it is just okay for us to come together and play music.
Listen, I had those same feelings. I had those same feelings. And that's why I was so happy that that video came out of them playing around after the fact
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
Monica was like dancing on Brandy and stuff. Because it's like everybody wants to think they know something, but you weren't in the room.
You weren't.
You weren't in the room. So all of this, but Monica had an attitude the whole time. Stop it.
Who said
Stop it.
that? Who said that? Monica didn't have an attitude. And then they go and they get the like smallest 2-second clip and they're like, see proof of the
Yeah.
attitude. And I'm like, you don't know what, like you said, you weren't in the room. And also, with the 90s and during that time, these women, they were young.
They,
And during that time, there was a very small window for black artists altogether, especially women at the time. So, of course,
yeah,
their team is going to want them to win because that's money in the pocket for the team. So,
of course.
of course, things will be sad at that age. Of course, we all done said some things or been in some disputes with people at a young age, but I'm glad it was really relieving to see them come together and for the culture during this time. And it was just a night where we sat for 3 hours and watched these women play their hits back to back.
If there's anything special that came out of this whole experience of quarantine and COVID, it is the verses.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, it is truly shining light on these wonderful artists, these beautiful artists, and bringing us together. And
Mm-hmm.
really, like, it feels good.
It does.
It
No.
feels good. And it's grown, like, to see where it's at now, the fact that they were filming it at a whole studio, they have it all set up.
Tyler Perry got some money. Tyler
Listen,
Perry has money. I'm like, go ahead. And then it was
that's the
hosted
whole
by Ciroc, right?
situation. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Diddy's gonna get money. Diddy is get his money. If there's one thing he will do, it is get his money. He's going to promote. Ciroc will be in any room that will have it. that Ciroc will be
So
there.
Rock will be there. Yes. I. Who would be? Do you have anyone you're like? I would love to see these two people in a verse together.
I want to see a group. I've been liking these conversations about groups. I want to see Jagged Edge. I want to see
Hmm.
Drew Hill. Give me a
Mm-hmm.
Drew Hill system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those those feel
Y-
good.
I would love to see
What
that
about
too.
you? Who do you want to see?
Oh, let's put Tony Braxton in there.
Ooh, but
And
against
I know that'd be the part.
who?
Tony Braxton gotta be somebody obviously on that caliber. Cause her and Dark Child alone.
Mm,
Mary J. Blige
that might be something.
might be right.
That might be something.
Wait, also, did you see where they wanted Chris Brown and Usher to do a live together? But Chris Brown said something like, respectively, I have to like decline because, off of features alone, I already would win. And I'm like,
You
no.
know, I've been hearing this Usher Brown conversation. What do you think about this? Because I have my opinion, but what do you think?
I think Chris Brown, you are phenomenal in what you do. You're Chris Brown. You're great in what you do.
Yeah,
But do you know your music it's made off of the blueprint, which is Usher. Usher,
which is exactly,
he laid the blueprint for
exactly.
you. So he can't do a live with you, brother, because
Because Usher made albums that had no skips. His first few couple, those were no skip out. It wasn't like, not this one, not this one. I'm sure these last few albums for Chris, hits or not, I'm skipping a good amount.
a
I don't
good
even, but that's
amount.
the thing. I don't even revisit Chris as much.
Yeah, no, me
I think
either.
Confessions. I used to go to sleep to that album as a child, as a kid.
Start
87
to
one,
finish. Start.
when I was in, what grade was I? I think I was in fifth grade, fourth grade or fifth grade, and You Got It Bad was out. And I remember listening to that song, and I told my mom, this is the first time I'm listening to a song that's explaining what I'm going through. And I know she looked at me crazy, being in the fourth grade, talking about this song really makes sense, it's speaking to me. My boyfriend kind of,
Period.
listen,
That
Usher,
that
Usher
Usher
all
and
day.
Chili dynamic. Usher and Chili's dynamic.
They were the blueprint.
They were.
That was the relationship. That was, oh, seeing them together,
Mm-hmm.
their sexual tension. They were just so sensual, and
Ah.
oh, I love it.
You know
I
who
love
gives me Usher and Chili vibes? Yeah, they still got some growing to do, but I think they're absolutely amazing together. Is Ryan
it.
Destiny and Keith Powers?
Oh, listen, I love them.
They're like,
So nice, the nicest.
I I just have
They
no words.
they look good
They look
together.
so damn
If she
good.
dresses, they both can dress now. They both can dress, but
Period. Period.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm excited to see if these verse will continue once, COVID releases us and we're allowed to do things again.
Or they will. What the possibilities are after it's. I mean, sometimes I wonder: is COVID just? Is this it? Is we live with it now? Is it? I don't know. Then we start getting into the vaccines that are
Yeah,
coming.
which is supposed to roll out sometime around November and November
Election,
supposedly.
right before the election.
Yes. So, what's your thoughts about a vaccine for COVID this quickly, like as fast as they're pushing it?
I don't know what to think.
And
I don't know what to. I don't. You know, I don't trust it. I don't trust anything. This whole situation has exposed things that we already know.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, but it has exposed even more.
mm-hmm.
And only imagine the things that we don't know.
That
And now all of a sudden it's here's a vaccine and it's and you have to take it. What's in it?
Exactly. It's going to be mandatory because they're definitely going to stop people from
Yeah,
getting into schools, getting into
yeah.
government buildings, going. I'm sure jobs are going to be like, we need to
Traveling.
traveling. It's going to, at some point, they're going to force the American people to take the vaccine. Um,
Yeah. They are. They
it's
are.
it's not going to be optional like the flu shot. Flu shot, you can take it if you want. But well,
Here.
thank you. And for all y'all joining, I thank you so much for rocking with me each video. I ask that if you haven't, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything here at Call Me After 9. It's been real and y'all been fake. I'm out. Yeah.